Have you ever felt like you're just pushing a boulder uphill, like you're working against a system that feels like it's designed to fail? Well, today we're diving into the brilliant work of Jennifer Christel to understand the invisible rules, the hidden code that shapes so much of our work and our lives. We're going to look at why so many systems feel broken, and more importantly, explore a really powerful idea for how we might start to fix them. So let's just jump right in with a question that I think hits home for a lot of people. Is burnout a personal failure? Is it something you just need to be tougher to overcome, to just be more resilient? Or is it a signal flare, a warning shot telling you that the system you're in is fundamentally broken? I think you know where this is going. It's the second one. And to really get why, we need a new way of looking at things. And that lens is this core concept called recoverability. Think of it like a system's immune response. Can it handle stress? Can it absorb a mistake or a big change without permanently damaging the people who make it run? This isn't about lowering standards or anything like that. It's simply about whether there's a path back from a mistake or a hard time. And what's so amazing about this idea is that you see this pattern everywhere. I mean, think about it. Our bodies literally get stronger from cycles of stress and rest. That's how muscles grow. A relationship doesn't break because of one fight. It breaks when there's no way to repair the trust afterward. And at work, real growth only happens when you can make a mistake, learn from it, and get back in the game, not get kicked out for good. Recoverability, it turns out, is the pattern of life itself. So this is the crucial turning point. What happens when that capacity for recovery is gone? Well, when systems lose that ability to bounce back, they become irreversible. A single mistake, a period of burnout, even just a disagreement, they become permanent black marks. There's no coming back. And this leads us to the real human cost of these rigid, irreversible systems. You end up in a world where fear completely takes over, and it squeezes out any possibility for real growth. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? In a system where any misstep could be fatal to your career, being afraid isn't a weakness. It's a completely rational survival strategy. The system itself is teaching you day in and day out to be afraid, to hide your mistakes, and to avoid taking any kind of risk. Okay, so if fear is the output, what's the code running underneath that's causing it? Let's dig into that, because what we're talking about here isn't a bunch of bad people. We're talking about bad design. This is honestly one of the most powerful reframes in all of this work. Our biggest problems, burnout, constant anxiety, toxic workplaces, they aren't happening because people have suddenly become worse. They're happening because we are all operating inside systems that are designed with fundamentally flawed incentives. And you can see this disconnect so clearly right here. Management says, be resilient, but the system's logic is all about scarcity, which just burns you out. They say innovate, but the system punishes the small, early mistakes that are absolutely essential for innovation. They say collaborate, but the actual incentives encourage you to hoard information and resources just to feel secure. The design is actively fighting the stated goals. And that's the really chilling part. You don't need a single person with bad intentions to get these awful outcomes. The system, the code itself, produces them automatically. No villains required. Okay, so stick with me, because this next part connects all these ideas to one of the biggest anxieties of our time. We've been talking about the logic of these broken systems, right? This invisible machine. But what if that machine looks surprisingly familiar? Because here's the twist in the story. We are all terrified of AI becoming this cold, calculating, uncaring machine. But what if we're worried about the wrong machine? The argument here is that the real machine we should be looking at is the economic system we've already built. From this point of view, AI isn't inventing some scary new logic. It's just inheriting and amplifying the one we've been living with for generations. Just look at this table. It's wild. It maps our biggest fears about AI directly onto the logic of our current economic system. Optimization without care? Check. Growth without limits? Check. Efficiency without responsibility? Check. We're worried AI will do all these things, but our systems already do them. So in this view, AI is really just a mirror, reflecting a cold, extractive logic we perfected long before it ever showed. Okay, so that's the diagnosis, and yeah, it can feel a bit bleak. But the most important part of this whole way of thinking isn't just pointing out what's broken. It's giving us a blueprint for something better. So let's look at how we can actually start to design for human recovery. Let's get specific with one of those deadly incentives, punishing early error. When telling the truth about a small, fixable problem is a career risk, what do you get? You get silence. People hide problems, and those small problems fester in the dark until they explode into massive, system-wide catastrophes. It creates organizations that look totally calm on the surface, right before they completely fall apart. Now, let's flip it. What if we designed the system to protect early errors? All of a sudden, admitting a mistake isn't an act of career suicide. It's an act of intelligence. It's a gift to the team. This one simple change produces honesty and lets the whole organization learn and adapt so that you end up with a culture that improves instead of implodes. And this brings us to such a simple but powerful design principle for building these better systems. It's not about trying to be a saint or just being nicer. It's about engineering. It's about designing a system where the easiest, most logical, most convenient path is also the kindest and most constructive one. So, when you boil it all down, it really comes to a fundamental choice. Not a choice we make as individuals in a single moment, but a bigger choice about how we want to design the systems we all live and work in. And this table lays out that choice perfectly. On one side, you have irreversible systems. They are designed, intentionally or not, to select for fear. The output is conformity, and the end result is burnout. On the other side, you have recoverable systems. They select for growth. Their output is experimentation and learning, and the result? Trust. These outcomes aren't an accident, they're a direct result of design. And I want to leave you with this last powerful idea. We have a tendency to praise systems that produce a lot of output, no matter what the human cost is. But a system that burns through its people, that's not a high-performing system. It's an extractive one. It's literally strip mining human potential, and eventually, that resource is going to run out. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Your workplace, your friendships, your community, the systems that make up your life. Do they preserve the possibility of return? Can you make a mistake? Can you stumble? Can you change your mind and still find your way back? Because the answer to that question tells you everything you need to know about whether you're in a system designed for growth or one designed for fear.